Shavua Tov, everyone. It is 6:30, and I was just doing a little bit of research, and I realized that on the Valley Beth Shalom page, our community celebration of Havdalah was indicated at 6 p.m. So there may have been some confusion. Hopefully, if you're tuning in, you got the right time. Congratulations to you. And for those who may be scrolling their Facebook feed a little bit later, and you're wondering, where did Havdalah go? Well, hopefully you'll see this video, and it will be a wonderful way for us to gather, even in recording our community, to celebrate the end of Shabbat. So Shavua Tov, everybody. This week was a very important day in the calendar of American life. It was Groundhog Day. And Puxatani Phil, that beloved little badger or whatever he is, that comes out of his cage and takes a look and it sees his own shadow, is known to predict whether or not there will be a longer winter or whether they will enjoy an early spring. And as it turned out, Puxatani Phil saw his shadow, so they said. And we have yet 6 more weeks to endure of the winter months. The sad truth about Puxatani Phil is that he's correct a little less than 50% of the time, which is not bad, right? He's right a pretty significant amount of time, but not enough to say that his prediction is totally accurate. And what it says for us is so very telling on a couple levels. Right now, as Shabbat concludes and a new week begins, it feels very much like Groundhog Day. Maybe I'm thinking of the movie with Bill Murray, but I'm also thinking a little bit about what happens on this great historic moment in the calendar of American life. It's a great ritual. In fact, even more important than whether or not Phil takes a look at his shadow or not is the fact that this small town gets all dressed up. They bring out with great fanfare this animal and make a prediction on what the future might yet be. The ritual has great power in certainly that community, and for us, perhaps a passing tidbit on the news stream of exactly what we have yet in store for us. It's a reminder that tomorrow is not yet determined, that the future is not yet written in stone, that the way that things were does not determine the way that things are nor will be. That's a powerful reminder, especially because we're in a time in our lives right now where, gosh, it feels like the end of Shabbat. And the very next thing that's going to happen is we are going to go back into our quarantine. And we're going to stay safe, and we're going to be isolated, and we're going to protect our healthcare workers so that they can care for people who are really seriously ill and in need at this time. And as we're doing that, it kind of feels like, a year of this isolation is quickly approaching. It's fast approaching. And boy, it's been a long haul of a lot of the same, so it feels. But just like Groundhog Day, tomorrow is not yet written yet. Maybe the weather will change. Puxatani Phil has about a 50% chance of predicting that. But we Jews have something that's even more profound. We have Havdalah. We have this gift each week, week after week, day in, day out, with the same blessings, with the same ritual. And while we feel like maybe that means that Shabbat was exactly the same, it's precisely that moment in which we can say to ourselves, the week to come is going to be different than the week that just passed. And so I encourage you, what was one thing that you enjoyed on this Shabbat? What's one lesson that perhaps you picked up and learned? What's one idea that was ruminating as you were enjoying this day of rest and peace and renewal? And how are you going to carry that into the week ahead? That makes this week to come potentially quite different than the week that passed. Potentially even brighter, stronger, more hopeful than the week that passed. So if you had a rough week, and so many of us have, if you feel like it's Groundhog Day all over again, just like Bill Murray, Havdalah is the wonderful, sweet moment with candles and spice and wine to remind us that the week to come can be brighter, can be more interconnected, can be more holy with our efforts, with our deeds, with our hopes, and with our dreams. Shavua Tov to you, my friends. Let us conclude Shabbat together with the blessings over the candle and over the wine. I invite you to rise with me if you're watching on Facebook. Hine El Yeshuati Eftach velo echad Ki ozi v'zimrat ya Vayhili lishua Shoftamayim besason Mimanei Yeshua Ladonai Yeshua Alam chaber chatecha selah Adonai tzvot imanu Mizgav lanu elogei Yaakov selah Adonai tzvot asher adam modeach bach. Adonai Hoshea melech yaninu v'yom korenu. La Yehudim hayta ora v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. La Yehudim hayta ora v'simcha v'sason v'ikar. Ken tiyeh lanu kos Yeshuot esa, v'shem Adonai ekram. Yai lai la 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 la, yai lai la 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 la, ya la 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 la, yai lai la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Bore peri hagafen, bore peri hagafen. Yai lai la 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 la, yai lai la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Bore mine besamim, bore mine besamim. Yai lai la 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 la, yai lai la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Bore meore ha'esh, bore meore ha'esh. Yai lai la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol, ben or lechoshech, ben Yisrael le'amim, ben yom hashvi, l'sheshet yamei amasei. Baruch atah Adonai, Hamavdil ben kodesh lechol. Yai lai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la, ya la 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 la, yai la 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 la, yai la 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 la, ya la 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 la. Hamavdil ben kodesh, בקודש לכו, חטאותינו הוא ימחו, זרענו וכספנו ירבה כחול, והכוכבים בלילה. שבוע טוב, 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 שבוע טוב. אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי, במהרה בימינו יבוא אלינו, עם משיח בן דוד, עם משיח בן דוד, אליהו הנביא, אליהו התשבי, אליהו, אליהו, אליהו הגלעדי. Shavua Tov, everyone. We hope you have an amazing week. We hope that you go out there and make this week unique and incredible and better than the week before in some way. Maybe better with your connections with the people that you love, better with your accomplishments of all that you strive to achieve in the week ahead, better with your learning, better with your kindness, however that manifests. I just hope that you have a wonderful week to come. Thanks for joining us here for our Havdalah. We'll see you at the many places that Valley of Shalom gathers for Shabbat services, for our prayers, weekday prayers, and for Havdalah next week. Take care.